contemplating making this video for a while, and I was kind of nervous about it because it does seem very clickbait. This is not a video giving financial advice. It is not giving you advice in real estate. What it is for the people who are into the law of attraction, law of assumption, those of you who understand what affirmations can do and the power of your mind. So if you're not one of those people who believe in affirmations, the power of prayer, law of attraction, your focus, all that stuff, this probably isn't the video for you. So I feel like I'm in a space now to kind of talk about it and be more open about it. Backtrack about 2 years ago, we had moved out of our previous apartment with my father, me and Austin, my boyfriend, for those of you who don't know. We used to live in what we would consider a very toxic environment. I kind of had like a reality check multiple times, a lot of ego deaths, kind of seeing reality for what it was for the first time. I've spoken about how, having such opposites of father figures. My father was literally opposite of my stepdad, who was kind of stern, strict, and pretty much mean. Like, it was a lot of shattering realizations where I realized, like, wow, I really have to figure out where my direction is, because clearly these people don't have my best interests in mind, and it's not any fault of theirs. They only know what they know. I would always expect that my parents are supposed to have like the psychological groundedness. Like, the child should not be the one that needs to learn how to mediate a situation, but that's the situation I was in constantly. And I had to learn that I need to do what's best for me. Like, I know what's best for me, and now I need to just do it. I realized like my dad was not really gonna help me. He almost seemed to like kind of pull me into this, to stay in this place. Basically, we took a big leap, and we didn't know what would be on the other end. We know what we wanted to do, but how are we supposed to do these things when we're feeling stressed every day, constantly worrying of like what drama we're going to deal with today, or what things are out of our control? It's not conducive at all. So there's a lot of elements in between there, but basically we knew what we needed to do. And so we finally decided to save up our money. We took it as an opportunity. Let's try to be like wise about this. A couple months before we started actually making the plans to go, we became vegetarian. That was just a symbolic gesture for us to just take our health more serious and to raise my vibration. It turned out I didn't really miss the meat. So it was these little baby steps that I took symbolically to tell the universe that I'm taking this seriously. Like, I love myself and I want the best for myself. As we did more steps to take care of ourselves, it's like more blessings in disguise would come in. It was really hard to find a place that was decent. We didn't want to just, repeat the same thing somewhere else. Hi. So we decided to see what we can get. This particular place that we moved in needed us to have 6 times the rent as income, and that was not happening, but we had enough saved to where it looked like that for a couple months. We were able to somehow get into this place. As you guys know, the events that took place throughout that time there, it was a really big learning experience where I learned that, I deserve better. My PTSD was triggered a lot there. I just decided I don't want to ever live in an apartment ever again after this. Like, I was like so distraught. I felt like I made a mistake. Like, what did I get us into? Because we didn't even have jobs at the time. I like took a leap. We took it as like, we don't know what's gonna come, but we had to try. We had to know that like something is gonna come next. And it's like we grew wings somehow. A couple of months into moving in, I woke up one day and out of nowhere there was $19,000 just in my account. I could not believe it. It was like, I felt like a dream, honestly. I just couldn't believe what was going on. Like, I felt scared. I deposited $16,000 into my account, and due to back pay, I should have been getting this money already. I didn't know that they were going to give me a lump sum though. I'm just this 25-year-old pretty much. I think I was 25 at the time. So of course it's like, damn, I'm kind of a little stressed now because now I have this money and I'm scared of what do I do with it. And thinking back, man, I would have done things a lot differently, but you live and you learn. As I kind of realized, I keep falling into little traps of like instant gratification almost. Because I had the money, I think, whatever. I was just trying to do the smartest thing with the money. And I think that paradoxically, you know how that works. The more you try to cling on to things, the more and easier it is to slip away. So we started going through some struggles trying to figure out what we're gonna do. They raised the rent from $1,500 to $1,685, I believe. And that's not even including utilities, honestly. So it was ridiculous. I felt so unseen. But I ended up realizing the insanity again behind it all. It was all too familiar, triggering little past emotions, feelings that I would feel when I was younger, feelings that I felt in the apartment with my father. A lot of things I realized, like, because I kind of knew, like, once we leave my father, he's not going to be the source of our problems. Like, he was never really the source of our problems. He was just, a way to see ourselves in a different light, I guess. That's the way I see it. It was a learning experience. I knew that when we left, we'd have a different set of problems to face. I was kind of prepared for that, but I wasn't at the same time. I ended up getting really depressed because when I got the money, I felt like I should be happy, and I wasn't. I spoke about this before. We came to a point where we were running out of money. I didn't really want Austin to work. I didn't feel comfortable with him being away from the house when I had to be with this guy downstairs. I was very okay with using the money just to get by every month, just to, just for rent and stuff. And eventually the money started dying down. I started getting more insecure, worried, like, what are we gonna do? We looked around for apartments. We couldn't find much. For some reason, it just seemed like, difficult. Like, the places that did seem like they're doable didn't seem like, it felt like I had to sell a part of my heart. Like, I had to, like, let go of a part of my comfort just to feel comfortable, if that makes sense. I have to, shut down some desires in order for me to feel actually comfortable. I did not feel comfortable in any of the places that we did see, so we kept trying. For some reason, something told me to figure out what I'd be eligible for. The crazy thing is how many people I came up against that were trying to tell me I couldn't do this. How many people were telling me I need this much money, speaking to me pretty much like I'm a child. It was very disheartening. Like, I started feeling really down on myself. Like, wow, I just had this much money and I didn't even think about trying to do this before. But the reality set in, like, I can't feel bad about this because, like, a lot of things were out of my control. We didn't expect to feel like that we wouldn't be able to feel at home in our own, apartment, the place that we're supposed to be able to call home. The point was I was putting my worth and happiness in external things, in situations, and it kind of backfired. So basically, I was getting a lot of resistance, a lot of people telling me that we can't do this, that I wasn't able to, I couldn't do it. We literally closed with $51.77. And here I am with a home. Now, just to let you know, this is not the full story. I could continue on. I'm just a little short on time. I ended up receiving a call from somebody telling me that the house that I was actually interested in had a little lien on it or something. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but basically some money was owed on the house, extra money. He told me that there was another house that he started working on and he thinks it would be a good fit for me. And if we want to come check it out and see, whatever. He left a voicemail, thank God. I ended up calling him back. The crazy thing is I made all these plans. I would write affirmations. I'd write all potentialities, what things we desire, what things we don't desire, what are deal breakers, what's not deal breakers. I have like notebooks of it. I thought, like, what's the worst that could happen? To make this long story short, we planned a trip to where we are now, 6 hours away from home. We planned this trip so that we could check out the houses that we did see and that we did feel like could be a match. I'm not gonna lie, the first day was kind of disheartening. They were beautiful houses, and especially from the perspective of, like, people coming from what we came from, it's these moments that's like, wow, it's like I remember them so, like, they were just yesterday, just like videos just playing in my head of moments where I decided, man, I'm so just over this living like this. I do not want to live like feeling like I have to watch my back or feeling like I don't belong so much. Like, I just want a place to call home. I don't care where it is. Anything was better than having to, like, just feel like you're walking too hard. And, like, this guy was living right below, and I felt like if I drop a paperclip, he's gonna bang on the ceiling. Like, I shouldn't even be living, pretty much. That's what I felt. And he had no idea my struggles. He didn't know where I came from. He just wanted to assume that, I was trying to make his life hard so that he could feel justified in doing what he was doing. Reminder, if you live in an apartment complex, please don't blame your neighbors for living. If you have paper thin walls, take it up with the people in management. Try to get your rent lowered or something, or move out if that's not an option. Don't try to make the person feel bad for living. Just FYI. Whatever it is in his life that, got him so miserable. And I feel bad for saying miserable, but that's the reality. And we never say anything. We'd hear everything. We were very understanding. Got along with everybody else, so we didn't understand how, why, why was this guy trying to mess with us? But it makes sense when you take into consideration the narrative that I once had, that I'm always taking up space, that, you know, I don't belong, and that I'm in the way. First 2 houses that we saw, kept them in consideration, but it wasn't really, you know, something that was our first pick. The next day, we called up Jim. That's the name of our real estate agent that moved us in here. He knew we were coming down, so he said, just give me a call and I'll take you guys around. So he did that, and it was very nice. He gave us a tour. It made us feel like welcome, you know. So he showed us the house, and the funniest thing is that the house was almost just like a shell, pretty much. We went in, there was no lighting, it was dark. I have a video that I might share with you guys at some point. We were dreamers. We were even willing to just buy the house as is. He told us that it would be done in a specific amount of time, within like a couple of months, which was the perfect time that we were looking for. So it felt like the smartest move. I decided it's not going to be forever. I'm an artist, I have ambitions, but long story short, a lot of things came up. I cannot like succumb to this. I cannot be a victim to my mental health anymore. I would not accept mediocrity. I also wanted a dog, which I also felt was impossible at some point. But yeah, events happened. Dates were pushed back. People got COVID who were supposed to work on the house. There was a lot of things that needed to be done, and we ended up being pushed back. It pushed back from, we were supposed to move in August. 6 months of uncertainty. Thankfully, in October, he stayed with Austin's mother and her husband until February, when we finally got to move in. We still needed money to like make ends meet every month, even though we were staying with his mother. We still needed to, you know, get our food and all that, and not just completely be leeches on these people who are helping us. So money was cut off. We were running out of money. We didn't have jobs and stuff, so it was scary. It was honestly a really dark time, but don't get disheartened about that. I'm just letting you know, because if you're in a situation where like you might be in the very situation I was, like, don't lose hope. If I had known all these things would have happened beforehand, I probably would not have even tried, which is why it's very important to just take each step as it comes, because you'll always be ready for the next step. But when you start to think ahead, that's where the doubt and fear and worry comes in. It's gonna be discouraging. I keep stuttering, sorry. A couple of days later, we were told that the loan agent, she was going to be pulling strings for us, and her name was Sarah. She was such a sweetheart. Oh my god. Somehow she got to pull strings to where we literally didn't have to pay anything but $51.77 on closing. And it ended up turning out that we didn't have to pay that. It was a miscommunication. Like, they were paying us $51.77 because we had overpaid. When we went down before spring to look at the house, we ended up putting down, I believe, $500, a down payment of $500 or $1,000, I'm not sure. But either way, it was less than the money we pay for rent. It still doesn't feel real sometimes. So that's how it ended up. We closed on our house. It was a surreal process. I felt like even the day of signing, like, oh my god, I could do something wrong. What if something goes wrong? I think it's important just understanding that anything could happen. Anything could go wrong, and just embracing that, because the last thing you want is to let yourself be caught by surprise by something that you don't understand or know, and like let that be something that deters your energy and creates a new outcome that you didn't want. And I'm speaking to you law of attraction practitioners, of course, law of assumption, those of you who know the infinite potentiality of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. I know this was a very long video. I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully I cut it up enough for you guys to digest it. I will do some more like maybe in-depth steps maybe in the future if you guys are interested. Subscribe for more updates and future videos on law of attraction and living your best life, consciousness, neuroscience, being a human, whatever. We're all human. So that's basically what I love to talk about. Stay tuned, particularly for the next video, which I will be sharing the exact affirmations that I used that I believe were the ones that got me into the mindset and maintain the mindset, persisting even when the 3D reality was showing me the opposite. I will link in the description of the next video a PDF document for you guys if you guys just want to read it. And I will do a voiceover, like maybe 5-minute meditation video. Hit the notification button. I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope this video was able to give you guys some confidence in your manifesting, to know that there's nothing impossible. Nothing is impossible. I didn't get too into detail all of the struggles and pitfalls in that manifestation process. I will get into that more deeply if you guys want me to, but I think it's just important to know that when you're manifesting something like this, especially if you thought it was impossible, there are going to be like bumps in the road. There's going to be ups and downs, and something's going to make you feel like, oh my god, this is so far away, it's impossible. But just keep on persisting. That's the biggest part, I guess. Like I said, I didn't really feel worthy of putting this video out because it felt kind of clickbaity, but I'm only just being honest about my experience. And I am worthy of talking about the things that I experienced. Like, my experience is valid, and I hope that it helped one of you guys. You guys are worthy of the life you deserve and you love. You're worthy of a home, a place to call home. I make less than $22,000 a year right now. Believe it or not, I don't do conventional 9-to-5 work, but I literally still feel abundant. I still feel rich at heart, and I know that it's just gonna get better. The better it gets, the better it gets. And that's something I want to like really show you guys. Like, yeah, I'm not a millionaire right now. I'm not rich, famous, or anything. But I'm at a place where I'm content with who I am and where I am, and I think that's a place that we all should get to. And everything else comes afterwards. Everything else just comes as a byproduct of being authentic and true to yourself, and understanding, you know, at least give it a try. You know, tell yourself you're worth a try. Even if it's something as small as writing an affirmation every day, just do that and see what happens. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you guys next time. And if you guys have any affirmation requests, let me know, and I'll be happy to figure out some cool new affirmations for you guys. I think I'm pretty creative in that sense. But okay, have a great day. Have a good week.